Dark Psychology and Manipulation with Hypnosis, Mind Control and Emotional Intelligence Secrets, Art of Persuasion, Emotional Influence, NLP and Body Language to Win People with Subliminal Manipulation. Written by Lee Goleman. Narrated by Mary Johnson and Lee Nowal. Copyright 2020 by Lee Goleman and production copyright by Lee Goleman. Introduction. The mind is one of the highly complicated aspects of human nature. The functioning of the mind has perplexed and intrigued humanity for as long as we can remember. Philosophers, psychologists, and scientists have tried to unravel the mysteries of the mind. It is widely believed that the human mind influences our behavior and actions. Hence, a lot of research work has been devoted to understanding the mental process a person undergoes before acting, both for good and evil. Some aspects to study the human mind have focused efforts on the brain. These studies examine the brain's physical aspects, focusing on how information is acquired, processed, interpreted, and stored. Essentially, they hope to understand better how the brain can affect a person's way of thinking. Analyses like these have paved the way for progress in managing debilitating conditions such as Alzheimer's, perception difficulties, and even memory loss. The most familiar aspect of the study of the human mind is psychology. At some point in our life, we consulted a psychologist or met someone who had to consult with one to face our most challenging emotional battles. Many times, life's experiences destroyed us in ways that we cannot fix on our own. Sometimes, the failure is the result of some biological markers we inherited from our parents. Emotions such as depression, anxiety, and fear obscure our daily experiences, making growth difficult. With a blend of medication and therapy, we can protect ourselves from the inner darkness. But what about the darkness in others? Everyone can do great good. We also possess the ability to do great evil. Underneath emotions such as sadness, depression, joy, and happiness is a deep-seething desire that can lead us to deliberately hurt others if these impulses are not kept in check. These darker desires are rooted in more primitive instincts, such as our flight or combat response, promoting our survival. Sometimes, there is only one word that qualifies the human response to these evil dark emotions. Dark psychology is the research of the individual state of human beings' psychological nature to prey on others. In secular terms, dark psychology explores that aspect of human nature that allows us to deliberately and voluntarily take actions that harm our fellow man. Mind you, the use of prey in this context does not necessarily translate into physical harm to a person. However, there is a branch of dark psychology devoted entirely to this. Subsequently, we will briefly touch on these areas to better understand the subject. Those cases are just triggered responses to external situations. The pot was stirred, and those dark emotions that lurked beneath it boiled to the surface. They usually withdraw once control is exercised. Everyone has a latent tendency to be a little mean, or just plain evil if the right buttons are pressed. Some other individuals, on the other hand, are in full control of these dark emotions. They feed them and voluntarily release them at the expense of another person when it serves their purposes. Sometimes these emotions are cured at an early age. A child learns that if he cries a certain way, the adults in his life rush to follow their orders. If the parents do not impress the child early enough about the mistake of this, the child grows up thinking that the people in their life can be manipulated to do their bidding. Crying would cease to be a weapon as they grow up, but they would continue in their manipulative ways. Where they don't use tears, they use emotions to blackmail their victims. Thus, what began as innocent childish behavior becomes a dark need for control.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?